had a question.
Yeah.
So, like, back in the day, you know how, like, Andrew Jackson got shot with, like, a 50 caliber ball,
Yeah. He got shot with a musket.
and he still ran over and beat somebody with a cane.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, like, if someone gets shot with a 9mm today, they fall down and cry. What's the difference?
Well, Andrew Jackson
Velocity.
was.
And Andrew Jackson is a... well, I mean, that's the real answer is velocity. And, like, our modern bullets are better to a certain degree than the old ones. They were bigger, but they were moving slower. The reason why we put them all into, like, conical projectiles nowadays is part of it. There's a lot of boring physics. But to answer your question for real, it's because Andrew Jackson was a monster human being who probably was not killable.
Not
He was
even
about
human.
10 feet tall, I heard. He was about 600
A real
pounds.
Paul Bunyan figure.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of person who you stab in the chest and he starts laughing.
Yeah. He had a.
Like,
it was like Bane from Batman.
How
Yeah.
tall do you think IRL Paul Bunyan was?
Was Paul Bunyan a real guy?
Had to be based off somebody, right?
What is Paul Bunyan again? He's the one guy that has like the blue ox or
yeah,
something?
he's a giant. He's a lumberjack.
He just likes
and
chopping
has
down
a big
trees.
blue
Oh, we did an
ox.
episode
Yeah.
about that like really early on in the podcast.
Yeah,
we talked
but
about
like,
Paul Bunyan.
I don't remember us talking about like what's inspired Paul Bunyan, because like everything, like dragons are inspired by dinosaur bones, right? Or whale bones or whatever.
It's gotta be
Giants
like
are
a
like the creatively bankrupt version of mythology, where it's just like, what if man but big? Like that's.
It's true.
But it had to be based off some tall motherfucker, right? So
yeah,
like, how
that's-
tall was the original
It was
Paul
probably
Bunyan?
Abe Lincoln, dude. Like
Nah,
Abe Lincoln was the tallest motherfucker around at that time.
Yeah, he was like 6'5".
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he was
for,
tall.
he also
man.
apparently had like a
Do
really
you
tiny,
know-
high pitched voice.
Do you know
Yeah,
what
he had
his
a really-
original name,
yeah.
like his nickname was?
What's that?
The original gorilla.
The original gorilla.
That was
Yeah,
Abe Lincoln's
he had
name.
an undefeated wrestling streak too, didn't he?
score and 7 years ago.
Dude was legit.
the original gorilla.
Dude was legit a JoJo character. He one time was running a grocery store, and but he was also like, I think, running for the state senate at the time.
And a grocery store.
Yeah, he was just running a grocery store.
All right. Hell yeah.
And a
Different times.
group of hooligans came in and were like harassing some old lady, and he told them to get out of the store and leave. And so like when he was helping the old lady out of the store, they were like, "Hey man, I don't like how you talk to us. Step out and throw him up." So he went out there and beat the crap out of their leader, like just threw him around. The leader was so impressed, they became friends, and the leader went around and made. And I'm not going to say made, but he and his hooligans went around and had people vote for Abe Lincoln.
He's
Or
Oreo
convinced people-
Speedwagon?
Yes.
He's Oreo
He
Speedwagon
is.
from
He
JoJo.
convinced people to vote for Abraham Lincoln, and Abraham Lincoln won the seat.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, he eventually won the presidency later on.
Yeah.
Abe Lincoln became a mob kingpin by
Abe
beating
Lincoln
up
was a
some
JoJo
guys.
character.
Yeah.
He
And
got
then,
their respect.
Of course. I mean,
he became his friend.
picking a fight with a guy who's 6'5" is a fucking death sentence in the first place. Like,
I mean,
imagine how dumb you have to be like, all right, come outside, let's throw down. Like, he couldn't lift you above his head and break your back.
they might not have known that he was a wrestling champion who had made his own log cabin before they walked in there.
It's weird. I mean, the closest person we have to being 6'5" and like vision is Aaron, who's 6'7".
Yeah.
So like, I cannot imagine willfully being like, yeah, let's throw hands, Aaron.
Imagine Aaron, but like way broader and like a
And wrestling
cornbread
champion.
country motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an awful idea. I mean, what, did they have knives or something? And they were like, yeah, I think we got this, boys.
He had a top hat that like turned and had a bunch of blades. I think.
Yeah, it was the little postage boy hat that's got razor blades stitched into the back of it.
Yeah.
You can flip it real quick.
No, he had the top hat, like or Speedwagon.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's Oreo Speedwagon. I forgot. That was a thing. What's your favorite part in JoJo, Aaron? Will? I'm doing the thing you do. You always call other people Aaron.
That's true.
Now I'm calling you Aaron.
My favorite part. I mean, part one.
Really?
Yeah, I love part one. I think like the Haman thing is so much fun. I think I think Dio's a fun villain to have.
Hell, he's been coasting off Dio being a good villain for the entirety of JoJo.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Just everything about one it's a concise story. Everything it's so well put together, in my opinion.
I was thinking about it again because I hardly ever think about JoJo, to be perfectly honest, but I
He doesn't
think
bullshit his way out of when he puts himself in a corner. He doesn't just bolt. Well, I can't say that's not true.
Yeah.
He did a leaf
He homoned
kite.
a leaf. Yeah, he
Yeah.
homoned a leaf to bullshit him out of a situation. What was the fucking name of the sword? That bullshit? I don't remember. There's some gay shit with a sword. I was thinking about part 4 recently. I was like, I really like part 4.
Part 4 is
4's
pretty good.
Chill.
I've actually only seen like the first 80% of part 1.
Have you?
Yeah.
And
Part
nothing
2
else?
is pretty decent. Part 3 is probably the weakest for me.
That's
Really, that's the one where it got all famous.
yeah. Stans got introduced.
Yeah,
I don't like stands.
fair enough.
I mean, I like them okay now. I didn't like them when they were introduced.
Yeah, because you were reading JoJo when Stans were introduced, where you were in your mother's womb.
Yeah. No, because I watched the show and I watched part 1 first, and I liked Haman as a magic system more than I like stands.
I gotta say, dude, the people that I knew who read JoJo before the anime came out were the weirdest fucking people. So I always had like a weird, like, I don't know if I should get into JoJo. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do it. He ran out of Delta 8, folks. He has to do things into the microphone now. But
We're finally gonna get him to fart into the microphone soon. He's finally gonna break that layer of dignity that he's had for so long.
really, it was just the Delta 8 that was holding him back this whole time.
It's what makes me a civilized man.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
the only thing separating him from a literal gorilla.
Yeah, absolutely. A tiny gorilla, but a literal gorilla.
Yeah, well, maybe a baby
The little
gorilla.
runty
A
gorilla.
little tiny little baby gorilla.
How runt can a gorilla get?
I don't know. Like, what's the smallest fully grown adult like gorilla?
They make teacup gorillas.
Like that's just called a monkey.
Yeah.
Like,
If teacup gorillas were a thing, do you think people would have them?
I hope not. That people don't keep monkeys as pets very often. I mean, they do a little bit in places where they're more prevalent, but the reason they don't spread very far out is because they're bad pets.
I realized.
Did you guys hear about that story where like this chimpanzee basically like became a member of a community, and like in
which
all
community? The NRA,
Is it the one where they were doing
Republican Party?
I don't remember what the name of the community was, but like this lady owned it. But like it could kind of drive and shit. Like they would go to the grocery store and pay for things. Like it legit, like it did things that were like surprisingly fucking human. And like it had friends, like legit, like it'd be like. And it'd be like,
You'd
hey,
wave at
Steve.
people?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
like it straight up lived in this community, but this one time, it had a moment where like it had to respond to something, like it had a stress response, like a very animalistic stress response.
because it's a wild animal.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's a wild animal. But because of this, the police, I think, shot it eventually.
Not touching that one.
The police eventually killed it. But the sad thing is like it all but had sentience essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like
It was basically just a mute person.
Chimps are incredibly smart, and I mean, the trick is they're also like 10 times the strength of your average like grown man.
It will rip your face off.
Yeah, they can rip your face off, and they fight dirty. They go for the genitals and like the eyes and the ears, and they rip them all off to try and cause maximum pain.
So the police just showed up and just fucking put it down.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah,
I think it bit somebody.
Oh yeah.
If a chimp is mad,
You ain't
emptying out
going
all of
near
your
it.
ammo into it is your only.
You're not going near it.
recourse.
And you better
Like-
hope it doesn't go near you.
Yeah, it will murder the ever loving fuck
Would
out
you
of
guys get like
very
a
quickly.
like one of the tinier monkeys? Like not like a chimp. A chimp's a big fucking monkey.
That's an ape.
Yeah. Would you
big
get like a
fucking
monkey? Would you get like a spider monkey or something?
Because like they also do
No.
things like they shit themselves and they throw it around.
Yeah,
That's true.
they're terrible pets. They are not kept
Yeah, you gotta
well
like have them
in
wearing a
captivity.
diaper at all times.
I went to a girl's house
Mm-hmm.
one time who I was trying to date. I guess I should tell that story too, because that's a good story. But I went to this girl's house and she had a fucking monkey as a pet, and it was fucking weird that
I wouldn't like. I'd be nervous.
I was kind of nervous, but it was just hanging out. It stayed in that one room in their house, and it was the room she lived in, so it was just hanging out. It was like hanging from like some bars or something that were on the wall like the whole time I was there.
I don't like birds as pets. I don't like birds as pets either. To be honest
are
with
at
you.
least more tenable than fucking monkeys. Like
Yeah,
I
I
had
mean definitely
birds.
more tenable. But like I wouldn't have a parrot. I don't like parrots.
Well, they live fucking forever too. You get a parrot; those things live 110 years.
That's a
Birds
commitment.
are like fish
that is
that
that is
don't
definitely
die.
getting a new family member.
Exactly.
Yeah, birds are like fish that don't die.
Yeah.
They're never gonna love you. They're not gonna interact with you very much. Like I mean, I guess you can actually physically interact with a bird as opposed to a fish. Yeah,
I would get a rat before I got a bird.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
There are a lot of birds that do die pretty quickly. I mean, I had parakeets
Yeah,
and
I mean,
shit.
like
Parakeets die in like fucking 3 years. Parakeets don't last
Especially when
very
you
long.
don't feed them.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were actually stuffing them full of food because we had other plans for them later on. But, that girl that owned the monkey, hermit crabs fucking rule. Hermit
Yeah.
crabs are fucking epic.
But you shouldn't own them as pets.
Remember
Because
going
it's
to the mall and then
It's a terrible industry.
Yeah,
Please don't
absolutely.
actually go buy hermit crabs.
yeah.
It's like captive orcas. It's one of those things.
It's
where
a
it's just
like the more you learn about it, the
Yeah.
more you're just like, oh god, I wish I could just fight these people.
You remember going
It's
to the
like,
mall
oh, no.
and then seeing the hermit crabs in the sand and be
Yeah,
like,
dude.
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love.
And they'd all
It's
have
so
the
it's
painted
sad too. I
shells.
really do love hermit crabs. They're cool.
We should have known when we saw the fucking like craft paint on their shells that there might be something
Yeah.
Fucked up in this
entirely
situation, but
viable
it's not
going on.
fair. We were like 10.
Yeah, well, I was like 14, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah. You
But
worked
still,
there.
you didn't have any power.
No, I never worked there.
Oh, did you not? I thought you
No,
did.
I adjacent areas.
You had
Okay.
no power over the situation.
I
Is the
almost worked
point?
at Spencer's once.
Did you?
Almost, but I got blackballed by my previous boss at Books A Million.
Jesus. What
I
an
know.
ass.
Right?
Spencer's out of all the places in the mall. I mean, it seems like
Would
a
have
cool
been
place to
kind
play.
of fun.
That's the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
digging
girl
around
who
with all the
owned that
gross stuff.
fucking monkey, we were on my bed one time about to like have sex or whatever, and she was on top of me and she took her keys out of like her bag that was like on the bed and then put them to her neck and then scratched her neck as hard as she could with her own keys and then put her like drop the keys. She's bleeding from the neck now, like just minor bleeding, not like fucking cut her own jugular.
She scratched herself.
Yeah, she scratched herself and then put her hands on my shoulders and then screamed at me, "Love me."
Oh.
I mean,
You finished though.
yeah,
right?
of course, absolutely. I was like,
That's some monkey behavior.
yeah. You could say that she was a wild ape, but
Full Jane on you.
I'm not gonna say I didn't finish, but you know, I never
Yeah,
called her.
I think
shit.
it's too late to back out at that
Of course,
point.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
of
know.
course.
It's like, it's too late to back out now.
I mean, like, what do you do? What do you do in that
She's
situation?
anointed me with her blood.
Monkey,
I'm not really
help
sure.
me.
Oh, yeah, the monkey's like just comes like jumping into the room, swinging from vines, grabs the keys and slits her throat, and takes my hand, and we fly away into the sunset on the vines.
Yes, exactly. That's how I imagined it would go.
I mean,
down.
like realistically though, Eric, what do you do in that? Would you have finished? Would you have just been like, well, I guess I'm never calling this woman, but I guess we're doing this now?
yeah, as long as she's not scratching me, I guess I would have probably finished and then
Yeah,
had
of
a
course.
conversation with her about
She can
self-harm.
fantasize about anything she wants.
Yeah, I guess so. I was
Again, I would have a long conversation with her about self-harm.
I
you
was
know.
15.
Yeah, I guess you weren't super well equipped for that, were you?
She is a stripper now. Big surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine she probably had an unhealthy attitude somewhere along the lines towards sex.
Somewhere in there, something
her
with her
dad
dad. Well, Will was already on top of it. What do you got to say, Will?
Was her dad in the picture?
I never saw him. That's for
I
damn
mean, I
sure.
don't want to say fatherless behavior, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw his ass. I never saw him once. They were rich enough to where they owned a monkey. So, like,
That too, it might have been he was an absentee father who still lived in that house. You know what I mean?
fatherless behavior.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, I raise my kids by paying for all their
How
shit.
weird
and
is
that's
it when you see those like text chains that come out where it's like my dad liked my OnlyFans or my dad donated to my OnlyFans or whatever?
excuse me? What?
Yeah,
Is that
do
a thing?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I've seen like a few text chains where it's
That's-
like my stepdad supports my business. He donated to my OnlyFans.
oh no.
What are you going to do when your parents subscribe to this YouTube channel, Will?
I guess I'd be like, how awkward for you? I don't know.
I'm sorry. Just
I
immediately
hope you
apologize.
enjoy.
I'm really sorry.
I told them they existed and that they wouldn't want to listen to it.
Did you? That's what I did too. My parents were like, "Oh, you made a podcast. That's cool." I was like, "Yes, please never listen to it." And they were like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I'm just glad my parents are like, we're just gonna watch nothing basically.
At some point,
We'll
it's their
watch
own
cop dramas forever.
At some point, it's their own fucking fault. If they go into it and they're just like, I want to know how my son is behind closed
you
doors.
You want to hear me unadulterated?
Yeah, my mother came into my
fault.
house one time and cleaned my bedroom. And my dad was like, woman, he's 25. There's going to be shit in that bedroom you do not want to see. And my mom was like, I'm going to do it anyways. I mean, like,
violation of privacy even in your own house. Huh?
Yeah, of course. I can't get any privacy with my parents. I don't know if I ever told you this. My father told me one time that privacy
no
was
expectation of privacy while in my house.
That's right.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
I've quoted that to other people before. Yeah.
You've what?
I've quoted that to other people
Have you?
before when having the conversation about expectations of privacy.
I'm not a fan. Wasn't a fan of that one.
No, I don't guess you would be.
No. I guess if a teenager was in my house, I don't know. I think I'll
Depends on the teenager. It's a case by case basis. If they were a shithead like you, absolutely.
You were a bit of a sneaky sneak back then, weren't you?
They're a shithead like
Cutting
you.
the brakes
absolutely.
on 18-wheelers.
I was before I was a teenager.
And fucking in the church.
I was 12. What do you want? The brake line, I was like 10. And the fingering in the church, I was 12.
By the time you're a teenager, I'm like, what the fuck's he gonna do now?
Sneak out of my window in the morning before school and smoke weed.
I gotta watch your ass.
Yeah. My dad once, I went into my bedroom one time, like late at night, and I had just gotten out of the bath or something. I went in there, and my dad had printed off a picture of like some nurse hentai that I had been looking at and just slid it across the table at me in my bedroom. And he was like, what is this? And I remember my first thought was
that looks like a medical professional.
Yeah. She's
performing fellatio on that patient, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't the pissing AK-47.
Well, at least you weren't watching Night Shift Nurses at the time.
It was some like shit like that though. It was some like fucked up shit.
That's probably worse than my pregnant pissing fucking Eastern European lady.
It was just a frame from it. It wasn't like anything bad. It was just like a naked woman. And my dad was like, "Are you looking at pornography on your computer?" And I remember thinking to myself like, "Yeah, of course." And then I got grounded for that. Till this day, I'm still like, that was bullshit. I was fucking 14, 13, something like that. I mean,
it's pretty normal to look up porn when you're 14.
Nurse porn too, such like a basic
that's pretty vanilla.
Exactly.
It's not something to be super concerned about. Now, if they knew the context, they should have been much more concerned.
My dad was like, I recognize this. This is from episode 6 of Night Shift Nurses. Have you watched the other 5? Your mother and I have the DVD in our bedroom. Have you stolen that DVD? Is that where you got this?
Now you have to live with the knowledge that your parents watched Night Shift Nurses together. Oh.
I mean,
look that up at home, kids.
Yeah.
If you want to know why we're having this conversation
out of all the people that I think would be bothered by that, I'm not one of them. I mean, in my opinion, my parents can watch whatever fucked up shit they want to in the privacy of their own room.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like my parents' sex life is a non-concern of mine.
Same, right?
You know,
like, they had it, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I don't care what kind of kinky shit they're into before, during, or after, really. Like, as long as it doesn't involve me.
If it involves you, we've got a lot
then we've got a problem.
We got other issues.
But like, yeah, any other non-criminal sexual preferences that they have, I'm kind of, moot on for the
Will's
most
not
part.
saying anything because he doesn't hold those values.
No, his parents are degenerates.
Absolutely.
Fucking sexual predators, degenerates. They have children in their basement along with horses. They're
How do you know they watched the Bosch?
No. That was just a short stack. Goblin Girl or something.
This is going to be their favorite episode.
Absolutely.
This is going to be
what it was.
When they start listening to the podcast, it's going to be their favorite episode.
She was a 1,000-year-old wizard, getting railed by a horse in the body of a 12-year-old.
She's a 1,000-year-old dragon. Mm-hmm. I saw that Kobayashi Dragon Maid character that has like the huge tits.
No.
The one
They're
that's
like
she's like
the main character.
No, I mean like the one
other
that's,
one.
Yeah, the other one, like the
lady,
one from
okay.
season 2 that's like it looks like a 12-year-old, but her tits come down to her fucking knees.
No.
Yeah.
I only seen a couple of the episodes of the first season.
Her design is so ridiculous that it makes me like I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, you're obviously doing this for titillating factor, and I get that. That's Japanese media in general. I'm not admonishing another culture.
Yeah, I think
for that shit.
that
They think it's
one-
funny. I get it.
That one province that still had like the 13 age gap finally got increased. No, not age gap. 13-year age of consent finally increased to 16, I believe.
Point
So-
being, I saw a girl that looked exactly like that at the fucking symphony when me and Will went.
Huh.
There was some short little black lady who was her breasts were bigger than her like at the rest of her torso. It was
I've seen this figure before.
yeah. I was like, good fucking lord. She was walking around and her breasts were like coming just a little bit above her kneecaps.
Good God.
I know. I was like,
She needs a breast reduction surgery.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, how did you get to fully grown human being and then not be like, I mean, I would have been
How
fed
do
up
you
with that
grow
shit by
up with those
17.
airbags, ma'am?
I would have been fed up with that shit by 17 if I was hauling around what is effectively 2 backpacks on my chest.
Well, I imagine that shit's not like fucking cheap or anything.
Fuck. If they were that big, I'd do that shit myself.
I
God
mean,
damn. I
you
mean,
know.
like, I bet she can't even run. I don't want to, like...
I don't know. She might be lazy. That might not be an issue. I mean, she don't like running. A lot of people don't like running.
The weird part is, like...
But if she ever falls out of a high-storied building,
yeah, she lands
she
on her
will
tits.
land chest first.
Yeah. Did you not see this lady?
no.
You didn't.
No.
She stood out in the crowd like wham. Like
Sorry,
what the
saw her
fuck?
I was
tits from
looking at
across the
Mousy
room.
Girl.
You literally could. You could literally see her tits from across the
I
room.
was sorry.
wanting the-
I was looking at the Mousy Girl.
I was
don't-
wanting that
that's
petite
fine.
little girl. That,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you-
Sorry, I'm not Bosch.
Yeah. I'm just saying it was really fucking weird. I can't imagine living that way. I legitimately can't. I thought to myself when I looked at her, I was like, where do you buy bras? Like how? Where do you go? And you're
the
you're just-
trebuchet factory.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, she wears bras like every woman ever, 1 cup at a time.
I'm telling you, see that bag over there with all the dogs on it that we keep all the podcast stuff in?
Yes.
That would hold one of her tits. One
that
of
sounds
them.
about right from what you've been describing.
It's just unbelievable. I can't imagine buying it. What bra size is that?
I don't know. G, I guess.
I don't
I-
fucking. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know bra sizes. When women say they need
Eric,
to get bras,
I thought
I
you
just
were
say
the
whatever.
you were the master of bra
That's
sizes
a
back in high school.
B,
Where did all that knowledge go?
obviously.
No, I've never been that master.
You were that
Roshi
guy
type
who
or-
would go up and be like, let me get a grope and I'll tell you what your bra size is. I remember you doing that every morning before school.
Some of them you'd found that they
Well,
had breast cancer.
Yeah, actually you
That
were a
was very
hero.
depressing. Yeah.
You saved 3 lives.
You saved 3 lives that year, Eric.
Don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad about it. It was actually you were doing a service to the world.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Where did all that knowledge go, Eric?
That's where it went. That's where it went.
Patrick, I guess just boost that to bother Will. At this point, we just have to have it bother. It's
wish it had
basically
been
just to
louder.
bother Will.
I'm sorry. I wish it had been louder.
Yeah, well, it was that was a sad one. I gotta admit, that was depressing.
It's been sad all day. I've been to the bathroom like 5 times today, just
Jesus Christ.
shitting my brains out.
Are you okay?
No, but we're not gonna get into it.
What's wrong?
I've been shitting my fucking brains out all day. That's what the fuck is wrong.
I guess that's what's wrong. Is it the alcohol? Is that what
I
it
don't
is?
fucking know.
Yeah, okay.
If it is, then it's very inconsistent.
Tell us in the comments what's wrong with Eric.
I eat garbage and
Yeah.
shit garbage back out. I guess. I mean, yeah, not the biggest
Probably his
mystery.
ideology.
Yeah, probably. It's probably a little bit of his ideology.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Accepting and not racist. Why is that a joke? Why is that funny to you people? Are you suggesting I have said something untrue?
Look, man, I made a joke about the monkey earlier that I'm gonna have to bleep out. I can't keep that. I mean, we all know. We all know. I have to. Right after I said that, I was like, "You're gonna have to bleep that one. You can't keep. I can't keep that."
Who was your least favorite classmate in school?
This is sad.
I hated Mitch. There was this guy in elementary named Mitch. Smarty fucking schmarmy know-it-all motherfucker.
There was
fucking-
another guy named Patrick who was we used to get in fights, and
I remember Patrick. That guy was an idiot. Wait.
I'm pretty sure that guy had autism.
Yeah. I hit him. I had a broken arm one time, and I hit him with my cast across the face.
That's a power move right there.
Yeah, we fucking hated each other. There was one kid named, let's call him Derek, who got up in the middle of English class one time and read a letter to the class about how he was sorry that he was weird and that nobody liked him, and that he understood that he didn't have any friends because he was like a strange kid, and that he was sorry for being,
Sir, this is why.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is why you don't have any friends here.
It was.
I don't know.
If it was modern day, I would have been concerned that you'd become a school shooter. Like seriously, I was
Derek,
like,
have you considered not cringing on Maine?
he became a manager at a Wendy's later in life, and that was the last time I saw him. I was like, wow, he went places. There we go. I don't know. I think about that all the time.
What's sadder to see? A high schooler at a fast food restaurant, or like a middle-aged person?
middle-aged person? Easy.
Or sorry. I should have asked.
Is they both work
What
as
would you
staff.
prefer? What do you prefer? To be served by a middle-aged person at a fast food restaurant, or be served by a high schooler who just does not give a shit?
A middle-aged person. I'd much rather be served by
Yeah.
a middle-aged person.
I guess the
They get my
middle-aged person.
fucking order right. They speak normal. They and
And then you just feel pity for him, and then it's okay.
Yeah,
I don't
guess.
necessarily feel pity for them.
What's
I
worse
always
is
feel a little sad for him.
what's worse
I
is
don't
when
know
they're
what's
like
going on in their life.
elderly. An
I
elderly
know it's
person,
something bad if they're at a fast food restaurant.
Not necessarily.
If they're
It's pretty
45 and they're working the cash register at the
Yeah,
McDonald's,
if they're in the fucking drive-through.
Sometimes the managers work the drive-through.
Look, man, I'm telling you, man. You look, with the exception, you'll know if it's the manager.
yeah.
Also, I'm thinking about I've worked at different places too, where like your Hardee's and your Chick-fil-A's, it's going to be a little bit less egregious than it will be at your Wendy's or your McDonald's.
Okay, but like I'm saying, like you're at McDonald's, you see like a 45-year-old guy.
Fuck
You
it,
know-
make it a Taco Bell.
Yeah, you're at a Taco Bell and you see a 45-year-old guy. You're just like, something went wrong, man.
Yeah, you're like, what happened? To
Yeah,
you,
because
dude?
like, look, I'm
Yeah,
just,
didn't
I'm
finish
just,
that
and
degree,
this is
huh?
my own anecdotal experience, but I'm just saying, when I was in retail,
if you're not in corporate,
anyone
then,
who-
something went wrong.
anyone who came in who was like over 20 or in their 30s and above and didn't just come into management, something fucked up happened to them and they had to take a retail job.
Yeah, I mean, they were usually out of prison or something. Like,
Either out of prison or they just got laid off, or like bills were coming due and they needed the insurance.
yeah, they
Like
needed
me.
a second job.
Yeah.
Like me.
Like you, Eric. Yeah.
I really need to get any job I can.
Really? Is that where you are right now?
No, I mean, we're not destitute or anything like that, but I'm still going to want to try and get into I'd accept like a job just working at PetSmart or something like that for a little while until I could find something better. But I am still at the point where I want to try and cater to a specific area of work.
Good.
Stay working with animals and whatnot.
Good.
It's not a serious emergency yet. Thankfully, my wife is a nurse, so she doesn't make terrible money.
If you're listening to this in
And-
the future, go to 7 episodes in the future and see if Eric got a job or if things are just going terrible and spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
Leave a comment below.
Hopefully, I should be able to have this wrapped up sometime soonish.
I mean, it's good that your wife works, basically. I mean, if I
Yeah.
lost my job, we'd be fucked. We would be fucked.
You'd be a little screwed.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have 6 months to figure something out, basically.
No, my wife pays like the house insurance. She's the major money source.
Oh,
for the
yeah,
house.
she is the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm. She's not good at keeping money in her pocket, but we offset that by just giving her the bigger bills. So house insurance, car
Yeah.
insurance, all that kind of legal shit.
Speaking of bread,
Yeah.
I hear you're not going to have a bun in the oven anytime soon.
No. Well, she's getting fixed, so to speak.
Jesus Christ.
No, she's getting
He's
that.
the
If you
dog
weren't-
guy. He's going to use dog terms.
No, she's
she's
getting
a
her
bitch,
fallopian
I
tubes.
understand.
No, she's getting her fallopian tubes removed. It's-
really completely removed?
Yeah, it's the upgrade to having your tubes tied.
Yeah, basically.
Because tubes tied regularly fucks up and heals back.
Really?
Yeah, it's a much higher percentage, and this basically is the same amount of like recovery time and not any like particularly greater cost.
Is there a particular reason you're doing this?
Yes, there is actually. I mean, we've always been like, you know, kind of lukewarm on the idea of birthing children in the first place. Like, you know, maybe adopt one later, but we're just like, meh, it's fine. Like, there's plenty of abandoned children out there that could, you know, use a little bit of fucking love.
Yeah, same.
You know, so like, okay, don't need to worry too much about that. And I got a fuckload of nephews, thanks to my older brother being a very stereotypical Marine in that regard.
My man went and saw service and came back and was like, I'm going to have a bunch of children.
Yeah, they're not all under the same ex-wife, but
yeah.
You know,
that Marine
stuff
through
happens.
and through.
But no, the reason why she made a final decision about it was, well, with the overturning of Roe v. Wade and Alabama just recently going off their fucking rocker about embryos being
Children.
live human beings.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Embryos are live human beings now.
In Alabama.
Yep.
I was like,
coming to a state near you.
Yeah,
me and my
I
younger
bet.
brother even had this like not argument, agreement, I guess, where we were both like, look, I'll accept the argument that it's technically like your first human cell when the sperm meets the egg, and that's now becoming a human type thing. I guess it's a human already then. But I don't think it fucking has like self-awareness until it's fucking 2 years out of the fucking snatch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for God's sake, I'm not saying
I
kill
won't
born
even
babies,
accept that
but,
argument.
like,
It's just a clump of cells, man.
like, I mean,
we're all a clump of cells.
that's what I'm saying is like a birthed baby is just a clump of cells that can scream and shit itself. Like, that thing doesn't know what
How
the fuck
beautiful.
is going on.
What a miracle of God.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you think that if a fucking meteorite came and squashed that child right then and there, that he would be judged for his sins? No, he doesn't have self-awareness.
Well, the
He
meteor
doesn't
can't
have any
sin.
fucking thing. Like, he's
If
fine.
I shoot a tinier meteorite out of a loaded pistol,
I mean, like,
will
you know,
the bullet go to hell?
I mean, it's...
Who's
like-
responsible for the death, the gun or the bullet?
Yeah, who goes to hell?
Sure, yeah.
The bullet or the gun? How about
I
that,
think
liberals, huh?
those just rot on the surface like everything else does here.
Hey, breaking news.
What's that?
A man set himself on fire in front of the Israeli embassy in Washington.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Full on
Kind of
gasoline?
gotten there, huh? That is one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is a
gasoline.
very
Full on
effective
gasoline.
protesting method, but
Let's see if
you
he
can
died.
only do it once.
Yeah. I was playing in a band with a guy who was at a show playing drums one time at some place called, I think it's literally called Dropkick Murphys in Memphis.
Huh.
But he was playing a show there. We played a show there, and he was like, yeah, dude, I was playing a show here one time, and some dude came in covered in gasoline and lit himself on fire, and the whole fucking place went up in flames because his girlfriend broke up with him.
Damn.
Like, during
That
the
is
show.
not a way I am okay with committing suicide.
Yeah.
No.
Imagine being up on
No.
stage, like playing a show. You're playing drums. You're in the fucking mood, dude. Like you look to your right, some guy comes in the door, like lights
Soaking
a match.
wet,
Yes.
smelling odd.
Yeah,
and then
lights a match. He's just fucking flames
Do you
up.
play through it?
Yeah. Do you scream "flame on"? And
Well,
then
if you're
just
a death metal band, then
Yeah.
yes, you continue playing.
What? Imagine if like that happened, but you're in the crescendo of the fire and the flames.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it would very much matter what genre you were singing.
You definitely keep going. if
They were a
it's the
punk
fire and
band.
the flames.
But
They might could have gotten away with it.
They could have gotten away with it.
Like some hardcore gangster rap or some like, anthem
Gospel.
rock or death metal. Gospel under the right circumstances. Yes.
hip hop
Again.
gospel, yes. Normal gospel, no. Soul gospel, I don't think so.
Yeah, again, it'd be very dependent on the genre you were using and how you were utilizing.
According to him, the biggest issue was
Gregorian chants.
if you cover yourself in gasoline and light yourself on fire, anybody you touch gets a little bit of gasoline on them, and then they get gasoline fire.
yeah, it makes
yeah.
sense.
And at a packed punk show where everybody's moshing, that quickly
Jesus.
became a giant crowd of people
I
on
bet
fire.
that's the most epic mosh pit in the world.
I bet it was for like 3 seconds, and then everybody realized what was happening. It was like, stop immediately.
Yeah, no, last time I went to a concert, I had to sit up in the seats up top, which I wanted to do. But then, like, the one other person who bought a chair standing directly in front of me wanted to stand the entire time.
Of course.
Dude,
Even though the fucking standing room was cheaper.
The next symphony we go to, we should start a mosh pit.
I thought you were going to say stand up and like get in the higher seats, which I was going to be like agree with.
Given the amount of audience participation I'm imagining you're going to be able to garner, I think it would just look like you and Patrick getting into a fist fight.
We should mosh with the symphony, dude. We should get out there.
Just jump into the symphony pit. Like,
get in here, mouse girl.
Oh
no!
You get severely injured by all the instruments as you crash down into the symphony pit, I would imagine. But
I imagine we'd catch charges whether we wanted those charges or not.
I told you to get a seat, and then I went to make a phone call, and I came back, and I was expecting you to be on like the high-rise seats because you were like, "Oh, we'll sit up top."
I was just joking about that.
Yeah, you just got in like one of the middle seats, and I was like, boring.
I changed it because I was in the very front, but I was like,
you?
Patrick won't want to sit in the very front. He's got an ear infection.
Yeah. I mean,
I like balconies when I watch plays.
I thought you were going to be like, I like ear infections. I was like, you
I love ear infections, especially in Patrick and not me.
Yeah.
I will say that apparently the DC fire crew did get to this guy, and he got transported to the hospital with critical life-threatening injuries.
Oh, okay.
Is he-
That's
Is he dead
surprising.
yet, or did
They
this
haven't
just
said.
happen?
This happened at 12:58
So
Okay.
3 hours ago.
Eastern time.
So this happened, about, oh, wait.
Yeah, it'd be about 2 hours ago.
Is it? I always forget which way it goes.
I don't know. I'm stupid.
Yeah, I'm retarded too. I don't know if going east or west adds or lowers the amounts of hours.
Which way does the Earth spin?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it gets.
I can't be bothered to remember because I'm not going to travel outside of my time zone.
It gets darker in Mississippi quicker than it does in California. I know that much. So
Yeah, they're about 2 hours behind us.
Okay. See.
Okay, so then that happened 4 hours ago?
1 hour ago.
1 hour
Yeah,
ago.
1 hour ago. If they're 2 hours behind
So
us.
he's still in pain right now.
Oh yeah.
If
If he
he's
could
alive.
feel anything.
Yeah, if he has any nerve endings left.
Yeah, that for real.
Like, because that's what happens when you get bad enough burns is it.
Fuck it. The
starts to
gasoline will
feel
damage your
cool.
nerves.
How long before all your nerves burn away? Like, what's the ratio of pain? Time of pain before
I used to know
it's
this.
done?
I used to know this. I looked this up at one point, and it was something like 15 seconds. Like after 15
That's
seconds, you're
not
not
so
feeling
bad.
shit.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that was how because the Tibetan monk that like lit himself on fire and meditated until he died.
Mhm.
I was like, how long did he feel pain for? And it was like some extremely short amount of time. And I was like,
That's
okay.
doable.
yeah, doable. 15 seconds, you sit there and you're like, this is gonna hurt like actual literal hell.
I wonder.
But
what-
then you
for
won't
15
have any nerve endings left.
Yeah,
I wonder
exactly.
what it feels like after that.
Apparently, it's supposed to be really cold. You feel like really cold.
Huh.
And kind of like a lack of self because you have no nerve endings. So you can't feel things around you. And of course, you can't
I
breathe.
bet that was the best meditation then.
Generally, you can't breathe. That's the biggest issue.
You also suffocate.
Oh, that's
because
probably not the best way to meditate.
You
then.
can't. The
Breathing's
fire,
very important.
Yeah, if you
because
breathe.
your entire face is on fire. Oxygen can't enter into your lungs.
Well, the oxygen that does is superheated. So your lungs, because you will breathe. It's going to happen. You're going to attempt to do it. Your
you'll
parasympathetic
try.
nervous system is going to try.
It's just not going to work.
Yeah, and then you're going to inhale superheated air. Your lungs will implode, and then you will die from that far before the flames actually kill you.
Wow.
Yeah, the damage to
Yeah.
your skin is not.
It is not a pleasant way to die.
No,
You know,
which makes me wonder, what did this guy have to lose? Did he have anything to lose when he got up this morning and was like, you know what?
I don't
I'm
know.
covering myself in gasoline. I'm lighting
I-
myself on fire in front of the Israeli embassy.
I guess his principles.
I guess so.
I was like, well, my wife and my kids were all visiting their aunt in Palestine 3 months ago, and now I don't have any of those things anymore. So
God,
That
why
had
do
to be
people?
the way, right? Like
that's a possibility. Like, and they just like, so out of protest, I'm going to burn myself alive in front of the Israeli thing.
I don't know if there's anything where I would be like, you know what? In protest, I'm burning myself.
no, because at that point, I feel like at that
You've
point you
lost
might
your
as well.
mind and become suicidal.
You might, yeah. I mean, at that point, you might as well fucking, I don't know,
Become homicidal.
Yeah, but yeah.
At that point,
Kinda.
you might as well become mass
Maybe this is
homicidal.
the ape in us speaking. But
I know. I don't know how much I would lose before I would be like, because I mean, it's the American way. You lose everything,
And
you
you
buy
set
an
yourself on
AR-15.
fire.
Yeah, you buy an AR-15,
And you shoot up the post office.
Yeah,
Right.
well.
No, you should.
No,
the
sorry,
local
that's
school.
90s. That's
yeah,
90s.
that's old. You
Yeah.
shoot up a school these days.
No one goes
Get
postal
with
anymore.
the program.
What do you shoot up these days? I
A
guess like
school, what do you mean?
no, like a synagogue. I guess would be what you shoot up in 2023, 2024.
When
Excuse
people
me.
shoot mosques. And
Mosques, synagogues. You shoot up like a place of worship, of course.
There was a shooter at a
Can we
Texas church
please
recently.
get a shooter at a fucking Scientology place sometime soon? Jesus
No, they live in.
Christ.
They have gated communities.
They have that whole fucking city in Florida.
I'm sure they have some rich drug addicted kids you could fucking trick into doing it.
Absolutely. You think anybody is
They
into
still can't
Scientology?
find all of Danny Masterson's guns.
Jesus. You think that they have any like Scientologist kids who are like thinking about shooting up a place, like on
No, they don't
religious
have any.
reasons?
They don't have any problems.
You don't think so?
Everything's great. Because they're all filthy fucking rich.
You know that they have
And they're
like
being raped.
That's true. They probably
So-
are being raped.
They're either filthy rich and having a great time, or they're being raped and threatened into silence.
Did you know L. Ron Hubbard lived on
Probably
a boat?
drugged out of their minds too.
Yeah, that too. Well, Scientology is very anti-drug.
Like I believe that.
Yeah, they put hypnotics in the water.
That's what they fucking say.
Did you know L. Ron Hubbard lived on a boat off the Florida coast to avoid religious persecution, quote unquote, by
Yeah.
the U.S. government?
With some people of questionable age.
Yes. Well,
Who's L.
also
Ron
his
Hubbard?
own, the guy who founded Scientology.
Oh,
He lived on a boat off the Florida coast in his what he
I
called
thought
the
Tom
Sea
Cruise
Force.
founded Scientology.
No, he's just like the most famous guy
Yeah.
who's in it.
No, he's just the
He's just some
spokesman.
fucking weirdo.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Is Brad
adopted
Pitt a
after the fact.
Scientologist?
No, I don't think so.
I like Brad Pitt. He's a cool guy.
Yeah. He looks shredded in fucking Fight Club, dude. That shit rules.
Dude,
the-
recently in his, Bullet Train, fucking.
Oh,
God
Bullet Train was
damn,
such a
he
good
looks
movie.
good in Bullet Train.
Why did people not like Bullet Train?
I don't know. That's an 8 out of 10.
I know it's got
easily.
like a 6 on everything. People are just like, this is a
Oh.
very average movie. I'm like, it's not.
Speaking of stuff I watched recently, Avatar: Last Airbender TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, the Netflix one?
Hard 6 out of 10 most of the time.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it gets up to a 7 and it can like keep it there, but like, man, it always comes back to like, if you were going to take the animated show and just shove a bunch of episodes together and like still tell the same story, why and then still take an hour of an episode to do it every time,
Mm-hmm.
why is it just worse? What was the point? Well, if I have to keep asking your show what was the point, even if it's well done, what was the point?
Because some people aren't going to watch cartoons, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
What was the advantage of it being live action?
Yeah.
Like, what did
There's
you
not
add
one.
to it?
Congratulations. You figured it out. There literally can't be one for something like Avatar.
Is that why all like anime adaptations and stuff end up fucking falling off so
a
quickly?
lot of the time, because you can't, a lot of the things they do in those shows, you can't adapt to live action.
Yeah, I mean, adapting
Like-
One Piece to live action was the dumbest fucking idea in the world.
yeah,
But
God.
didn't that actually work?
it did. Well, I mean, work is you're carrying a lot of work is carrying a lot of heavy weight there, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was
was-
a critical success.
it was
was
a
a
critical
critical
success,
success,
but only
yes.
because everything before it was trash.
Yeah, the
it's
standards
like,
weren't
This
high.
was the first piece of food that's been put on the table that was edible.
That was average. Yeah,
Like,
Will Reed said that he fucking hated the Avatar live action. He watched a little bit of it too.
you hated it.
Yeah, he said that they had like
Ah.
character assassinations for like a lot of a character he loved and shit.
he wants Sokka to be more sexist.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would. Well, Reed is a flagrant sexist. As a matter
He's
of fact,
a-
he's
He's a big
Militant.
consumer
He's
of
gonna sue you for slander.
VTuber girls.
he can get the balls to do it.
You know what's something I saw that really made me double take
Hmm.
is so they showed Azula, Ty Lee, and May, and it's purely because of unrealistic body standards. But I saw their face and I was like, wow, a lot fatter than I would have pictured.
Yeah, I heard. I saw.
I mean, seriously, it made me really stop and be like, wow, media really. I cannot believe how much media shaped my perception there.
Well, they were like 12 in the show. I'm sure they
no,
got like
they have them around like I think they have them like a year above what they are in the animated show.
So they're 13.
so they're 13.
And I think in the show they're like 14, 16, something like that.
I don't know. Ty Lee or whatever the fuck is like a little tiny little girl. She's like literally like a fucking tiny little shithead.
I mean,
It's like her whole character. She's a tiny little shithead with like a bubbly personality. I watched Dinner in America.
Ty Lee is 14
14.
in the show in the animated show.
Okay. So they're 15.
15, 16, somewhere around there.
I watched the movie called Dinner in America. Have either of you heard of it?
Dinner in America.
Is that the horror one?
No, it's a comedy rom-com drama thing where it's a really cool movie, actually. I don't usually give a shit about rom-com comedies, but this one had like a really cool edge on rom-com comedies. It's a movie about a punk rock guy who's in a band who needs fucking money. He's wanted by the police. He's like 20, maybe, give or take. He's a young man.
Sure.
And all he gives a shit about is making music. He's a punk rock fucking born to fucking die type of motherfucker. He's like fucking some bitch, then he fucks her mom. He lights their garden on fire with gasoline, like throws a fucking chair through a window. I mean, he's a hardcore motherfucker, right? So running away from the police, he runs into this girl out back from her job where she works at a pet store, and she's autistic. She's just this wildly autistic girl. And then she's like, he takes advantage of her and is like, yeah, can I stay? You know, do you have any place where we can hide out? And she's like, yeah, of course. She takes him to her house. And then he convinces her parents that he's like a missionary and shit. And then he's just doing this terrible shit. He's just like a garbage human being. Yeah. And then he comes to find out that this autistic girl, she's like 18, 19. She loves his music. She knows who he is. Like, she has all of his albums. He wears a fucking mask on stage, so she doesn't know who he is. And he finds out that she is his biggest fan, and they fall in love, and it's got this fucking weird ass energy about it that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, where else are you going to find a movie about a criminal falling in love with an autistic girl?
A criminal degenerate.
True. I mean, that is art, I guess.
It's really artistic. A lot of the shots, the cinematography is really good. They'll do shots where like he'll angrily walk across the parking lot.
Look, Eric.
Are you guys familiar with DJ Peach Cobbler?
Is that a sex move? I think I've done that once or twice.
Okay, well, I'll just quote him on this when he was talking about excellence in trolling. He was talking about going to a ableist forum of some sort, and he said, I support the disabled. In fact, my wife is disabled. She has Down syndrome, and we have 3 children together.
Is that right?
And that's his excellency in trolling thing. It's like you have to use their beliefs against them. Make them
course.
All I could think of that whole time was it's kind of a bit of a gray area for this severely autistic girl to be taken advantage of by this rampant fucking criminal.
Yeah, of course. And that's like the way the movie makes you feel for the first half of it.
Oh, have we talked about Mute? Speaking of movies,
we've talked about Mute, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Have we talked to you about Mute?
Mute?
Yeah, Mute.
No. It's about the Amish mute guy, or is he deaf?
No, he's mute.
He's mute.
I think he would probably be mute.
We have not talked to Eric about it.
We totally have. We talked about it on the show before.
Eric, well, check it out. Like, there's a sci-fi movie about this
sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
It is. It's a sci-fi movie.
Okay.
And they live in like a cyberpunk dystopia type thing, but he's an Amish guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And he's mute.
Mute Amish guy in a cyberpunk
He gets a
dystopia.
girlfriend. He gets a cool cyberpunk girlfriend.
Okay.
And she goes missing, and he has to like do investigations to find her. And he runs into like this evil duo people. One they're both like ex-military, and
one of them's like an evil doctor.
Yeah, they're both evil doctors.
Are they? Are they both doctors? I thought one of them was just a doctor, but I don't remember.
I thought both were doctors, but
I don't fucking remember.
For sure one's a doctor, and he's a child's doctor. He's a pediatrician. And in one
evil pediatrician.
Oh yeah.
Guess what is evil about the pediatrician, Eric?
Well, that's not the only evil thing, but guess what the most evil thing about him is?
That he takes advantage of disabled children.
Well, he probably would, yeah.
He definitely would. He
I
absolutely
figured
would.
there had to be some extra layer to it.
So like, here's the thing in the movie. For the entire movie, every time you see this evil couple dudes, they're not a couple, they're just friends.
Right. A duo, a pair.
Yeah, they're partners. One of them has a daughter, and he's doing this evil stuff for his daughter. Right?
Okay.
Like, that's kind of his thing. I
Dead
mean,
shot in the
he is straight up evil. He doesn't have morals, but his excuse is he's doing it for his daughter.
Okay.
Right? And the movie makes this clear.
Okay.
Well, eventually, there's a scene where like he goes into the doctor's his friend's doctor office, and like through the movie, it's been hinting towards his mental disease, but it's never outright just like giving you full-fledged evidence.
Okay.
Like the closest it got was like they were at a whorehouse and like he picked a schoolgirl whore.
Yeah, it's about the
And like,
closest they
and
get.
like had her call him daddy. That was like the closest they'd gotten.
Okay.
And like it was creepy, and we were like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Evil pediatrician.
And so like
sex
you know
with
he has all
children.
these cameras set up in like the changing rooms of his like doctor's thing, and like so they get in a fight obviously, right? Because like he's like, my fucking daughter's been here, you know, stuff like that. He's like, I've never looked at her, all that stuff. Eventually, in the fight with the main character, the mercenary guy dies. And his partner in crime, the evil pedophile guy, comes in. He's like, and as the man's dying, he like leans in. He's like, don't worry, I'll take good care of your daughter. Right? And me and Patrick are just like, oh my fuck.
Such a good
It was
movie.
probably the highest amount of tension a movie has ever made me feel like with a villain.
It's which that's another movie where it's like
And the
got
movie
6.
wasn't even about that.
You look it up anywhere too. It's got like a 6 out of 10.
I know,
Nobody
it
liked
was-
that movie.
It was the amount. It was the
Is
highest
this a
amount
live
of
action
thrill.
movie? What is this?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, it's a
live-action
live action
movie.
movie.
What was it called again?
Mute. It's
Mute?
by the guy who made Moon, which I don't know if you've ever seen Moon, but that movie rules.
Moon's a good movie too.
It's by the son of David Bowie, I think.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
that one you had
Junior
me describe
Bowie?
once, I think.
Yeah. I remember this.
About the moon children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that's actually Moon Children, which is over there on the shelf. But yeah, Moon's a different movie. But
Okay.
I would swear to God at some point.
Right there.
Yeah, it's right there. I mean, I think the
literally reach out
DVD's
and
even
touch
in
it.
my computer.
Ha!
You guys want to do a We Watch Anything of Shrek?
Yeah,
The original
sure.
Shrek?
Yeah.
That seems like the obvious choice for
Fucking
a
is
movie we should watch.
garbage. No, I'm just kidding. I fucking love Shrek. That's good.
I mean, that seems like I'm probably going to start putting those on this channel because it doesn't really belong in I'll Review Anything.
Yeah.
It as long as it's the three of us, then it should just be on this channel. It should be another thing we do on this channel.
Fair
But
enough.
The original Shrek,
Yeah.
probably a good idea in my
Shrek
opinion.
2, also a good idea.
Shrek 2 better than the first one, if I do say so myself. However, that's
Shrek 3, getting controversial. We'll still do it.
Shrek 4. I liked it. I watched it recently, and I was like, I can't believe I'm liking
Shrek 5,
4.
Shrek is back. Gotta admit, now we're taking it too far.
Yeah.
Shrek
is
6, when they added all the pornographic elements, that's where it really got back to good again.
Shrek 7, we get kicked off YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that one.
No, you can't air that in public.
No.
How many Shrek movies are there?
I think there's only 4.
4, I think. There's a new one coming out. I think Shrek 5 is like scheduled.
No, is Mike Myers still willing?
Yeah, Shrek 5 is like coming out in 2025.
Apparently so.
But yeah, I watched Shrek 4, which I believe is Shrek Forever After. I watched it at the gym. I watched like half of it at the gym while I was running on a treadmill, and I was watching it with subtitles, right? And I was on the treadmill and I was just laughing like at jokes in Shrek 4 through text. And then I was like, this is actually good. Shrek 4 is a good movie. And then I came home, I pulled up Shrek 4 and I watched the rest of it. And I was like, this is a good movie. I feel like a fucking idiot.
I felt that way about some stuff. Yeah, like Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible, where I'm just like the first movie, I'm like, oh my God, this is good. Why did I hate this?
Yeah, you remember watching all the Mission Impossible movies in one night?
Yeah, I got really sad because the rest of them suck.
Yeah. Will had one night where he just fucking binged.
I didn't binge just Mission. I binged all of his movies.
I know.
I binged Tom Cruise's discology?
Why'd you do it?
Filmology?
Filmography.
Yeah, filmography.
I like the
I don't know. I got
Samurai.
hyper focused on Tom Cruise. I fell in love with the cruise.
Somewhere on the spectrum.
Hey, you could say I took a cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
a
he
Tom
went on the cruise.
I've never seen Top Gun, so
I've never seen.
You know,
Top
that
Gun
was one of the
either.
ones I didn't watch.
apparently
I just
Maverick's
don't
really
care.
good.
I just
One
don't
of
care.
the-
I just don't care.
That's like one of the most iconic ones. I mean, I've never seen it either, but it is one of the most iconic
Yeah,
ones.
but I don't know. I just don't care.
At the big company meeting last year, every year we have to go out to another state for the big company meeting, and they give us dinner and they take us all into a big theater and they have a screening of a film. And the first time that we did this, last time I went up there, it was the live action Lion King. And I sat through the live action Lion King for the third time in my life, completely wanting to kill myself the whole time, but being like a good little employee would sit here and grin and bear it.
It's like, man, what if I could watch The Lion King, but none of the animals were expressive?
Of course. The second time,
And what if they told the story worse?
Yeah.
Just a little worse.
Just
a little worse.
Worse pacing.
And worse voice acting. What if all the voice actors were just worse?
What if
Like,
everything
imagine-
was just of lower quality?
Like, you literally get James Earl Jones back, but in his current form and not in his peak form that he was in the mid-90s.
It just-
remember who you are.
Now it's more like, remember
who you are. Peter.
when do I get a fucking paycheck?
Peter.
Okay.
Remember who you are, Peter.
Hey, do a slightly better
Joe Swanson.
Joe Swanson.
The second time I went up there, they had a filming. It was Top Gun Maverick.
The sequel.
Yeah, and I was like, I've never seen Top Gun. I was like, and then they were like, do you want to stay for the filming, for the film showing, or do you want to go and like see the city? And I was like, fuck it, I'm leaving. I was like, I've done my dues. I sat through the live action Lion King for these people. I can leave and just go walk the city, just
Fair
hang
enough.
out.
I watched Speed Racer when they showed it for school one time.
Oh, the live action one?
Yeah,
the one that the
they made us
Wachowskis
all
did?
go to the theater and watch it.
Really?
Yeah, like we were a chain gang of prisoners.
We did that. They did that with us for Madagascar, which was weird.
I remember having school groups come in whenever I worked at the Malco back in the day.
Why did you
Very
always give us the
occasionally.
shittier the shittiest popcorn you could eat
Yeah,
was
what the
always
fuck
at the
was-
school.
what was your problem,
Because you
Eric?
guys had to show up fucking 2 hours before we opened, and me and 3 other underpaid chuckle fucks had to come in and do this whole special thing. And the reason why is because we fill it all up an hour before you fucking get there, because we're not gonna wait for you all to make individual fucking orders.
Yeah. So 11-year-old me walked out of Madagascar.
How did you? How
Really?
you were allowed
Yeah.
to do that?
He saw that giraffe and he was like, "That sounds a little too Jewy for me."
I
Is
said
that
I had,
David Schwimmer?
I said I had to go to the bathroom, and then I just never came back. And I just hung out in front of the bathroom on the fucking bench.
Nice.
Even
Wow.
11-year-old me was like, "This
Why'd you not
sucks."
like
I was gonna say,
Madagascar?
it's not that
the
bad.
First one's
There was
pretty
only one
decent.
thing I wanted to see in Madagascar, dude.
Gloria.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to move it. You like to move
You
it,
didn't even
move
get
it.
to that, I bet.
No, that's like
Probably not.
3/4
honestly.
of the way through.
I don't know. I don't remember Madagascar. I think I don't know how much I know.
Look,
They
there's
got
only
to
one
Madagascar.
thing you got to remember for Madagascar:
Gloria. You just gotta say Gloria again.
big booty bitches.
Yeah. I remember they were in a zoo, and then they left the zoo, and then they wanted to get to Madagascar, and there were some penguins or something, and then
No,
I
they
was like,
didn't
all right,
want to
this
get to
sucks.
Madagascar. They kind of accidentally ended
Madagascar
up there.
happened to them
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they just decided to stay there.
until they didn't.
I guess it just goes to show that even 11-year-old me
Several
had
sequels
standards.
later.
But yes, we should watch Shrek. We should do an episode on Shrek.
And then Madagascar.
Yeah,
Your
I
favorite
can't
movie.
wait for the yeah, then obviously Madagascar, a double feature, if you will.
Yes, of course.
I can't wait
In fact,
for.
let's just watch Madagascar twice.
Yeah, of course. Just I'll walk out again.
Your own house.
I can't wait to get to the licensed music in Shrek, and then we have to do what we did with Mortal Kombat.
Oh, wow.
Where we don't really have any option. And I thought about that. That's the only thing I can't think of. Like, what will I do? What do we do when we get to the fucking opening? Do we just sing over the opening?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
Somebody
Yeah,
once
exactly.
told me
Exactly.
the world was gone right.
Yeah, it has
Do
to.
we just skip it?
I mean, I think I'll just do what we did with Mortal Kombat, where it's just us screaming, and then I cut after like 4 seconds or something, because that was pretty funny.
There you go.
That worked.
As long as it works. I'm more concerned with that show. What we need is, and I showed it to like some people that were like other YouTubers, big YouTubers, like 100,000 subscribers, 200, 300,000 subscriber like YouTubers that I'm in a Discord channel with, and I was like, look at this, tell me what's wrong with it. And they watched it, and then like 5 people all agreed. They were like, you need like an intro thing. I don't know, like you did like a bunch of like zoom ins to characters to kind of familiarize people with the voices. but 5 minutes in, I'm lost at who's talking. Like, I don't know. You need some sort of like way or like an opening song, like the Rugrats or something, where you like show the characters and give a little bit of personality to where people
what if
like.
we just had like a little xylophone and we're just like do do do
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
do,
yeah,
do,
yeah.
do, do, and here's Will.
Yeah,
And
we've
here's
got to.
Patrick.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I have no idea. But
We
they
should
were
do
like,
the cutout cardboard things again just on the green screen.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about like the fucking MiG shooting down the Cessna. I was like, how am I gonna do that? And I said, make it look desperate. How am I gonna do that? And I was like, I'll get like popsicle sticks and like put them in front of a green screen.
Yep,
and Will's agreed to help me film that. So that's
fun.
I think that's what we have to do. That's the only thing that makes sense. I'm concerned with the lighting.
Holler at me. I mean,
I've got
still unemployed right now. So.
Yeah.
we can use a desk lamp or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, if we need like flush lighting though, we need like
we have a fucking million lights.
I know. I'm saying am I gonna put the light on top of my stomach though, and I'm gonna lay under the light?
Yeah, we'll get you some sunglasses and we'll have the light like down.
Oh, God. I don't know. This, you know what? This episode was no grapes milk. I have to tell you.
Well, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
We did get a viewer comment.
Yeah.
They wanted to know if we were on a moon base, and I ran out of Delta Vape, who I'd kill first.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that. And I'd have to say it'd be Reed by proximity. Then probably Eric, because he's the next threat.
Yeah. Of course, he's armed.
Fair enough.
And then
And I would charm you with my body to avoid
would
being.
keep
yeah,
Patrick
I would
around
make
as a
you
sex
I would
slave.
make you a chained up concubine.
Exactly.
And I'd have to kill Kira.
Yeah,
So-
probably. Kira would actually not die though, and would come back with like one eye and a giant scar.
She would Ripley me into space.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. She'd come back like Guts in a giant suit of armor with like
Yeah.
a white streak through her hair and a scar over one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She'd have a whole arc.
So, anyways,
I'd be
you guys,
dressed like Leia.
You guys just wait here. I'm gonna go downstairs and get something. I've got a gift
For Reed?
Yeah, a surprise
Oh,
for everyone.
that's sweet
in
of you.
fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah. That's sweet of you.
Much appreciated.
I don't. You've got your gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's load up and
Okay.
we'll go take a look. Anyways, this has been the Anything Cast. Thank you for listening. But we'll see you next week. I guess.
I think so.
I think so. Okay. Bye.